Evening, Natchez. We are live. We are having our Facebook Renewal Live tonight, coming to you from City Hall here in downtown Natchez, the beautiful, historic city on the hill. It is a beautiful city, and it's been a beautiful day in spite of the heat. It has been hot. We're having summertime. We are waiting just a minute to pick up a few folks, make sure people are watching. We're going to give an update on a few things that are happening here in Natchez, and we're going to answer questions. If people have questions, feel free to ask away. And we're going to cover some ground here. We are in the very last couple days of July. I don't know where the year is going. We're about to be in August, and it does feel like it. It feels like July should feel and August should feel, but we are going to be there. And so I see some folks. Good evening. I can't really read the comments much. I do have my glasses here. We'll see. So there we go. Kelly, others watching. We are getting a few viewers. We're on my personal Facebook page also, but I can't see those comments. I'm seeing the city page here, and but I'm going to take off the glasses because all you see of me when I'm wearing those seems like it's glare. Uh, we had the State of the City speech last Friday, and golly, we're going to talk about that. We've been on the coast this week, the Municipal League annual conference, and so we're going to talk about that. And then we have had a number of meetings today, and just some good things happening in Natchez. So I think we've got a few viewers. We'll jump right in. So yes, it's hard to just say where this week has gone. It's a blur. Just a week ago tomorrow, it was just last Friday, we had our State of the City speech, and that event took place on our historic bluff in the bandstand, and we were excited. I didn't have time to count everybody. I was told there was a couple hundred people there. It was a nice crowd, and it was hot, but it was a day to celebrate the Natchez Renewal and the fact that we are now 1 year in, and a lot of things to celebrate indeed. We shared some statistics, some really good things about Natchez. And in fact, tomorrow we are going to reshare the speech. If there are some of you that didn't see the speech, we're going to post it again, reshare that tomorrow on Facebook and across other social media platforms. I'm going to throw out some numbers, though, just to repeat a few things that were said last Friday. And these are some good numbers. We were celebrating the Natchez Renewal on the Bluff last week by first saying, it came down to jobs. We ran on the platform that we're going to bring jobs here. And so whenever someone files for a new business permit here at City Hall, we get an estimation of new jobs that goes along with that. And so the count for the year from July of last year to July this year, right at 70 new businesses, and with that, right at 600 new jobs. So that's a big number. That's a good number for Natchez, 600 new jobs and counting. We also take a look at real estate and building permits and all. Our building permits, just really excited to say, we've had over 250 building permits and over 40 million in new construction. That's an exciting number. We also like to look at sales tax, and in my mind, that's the most exciting number. Over the last 5 years, looking back 5 years, we've only hit 5 months and 5 years that allowed the city to surpass 500,000 in sales tax collections. And then we looked back just the last 3 months, and the months of of April, May, June, and we are in July. 3 months straight, we have surpassed 500,000 each month, and that is an all-time record. So that is a great indicator that the Natchez Renewal is going well, that we are growing and going strong. We also celebrated good news on the real estate front. We look at real estate transactions. Um, if you look at the sales of houses and the sale of lots and commercial buildings, according to MLS, Multiple Listing Service for Natchez Adams County, 580 since last July. That's a lot. You know, it is a far cry from where we were just a year ago when there seemed to be our for sale sign in every yard. By the way, if you lose us on my personal Facebook page, we sometimes here lately are having signal issues, and I think we're on now. But I'm giving a word out to people watching on my personal page. If you lose the signal, you can always go to the city page. I don't know why my personal page. Maybe we're just having too much activity. Maybe I'm Dustin. Maybe I'm wearing them out on my personal page. I know it's wearing me out. I seem to have a lot of Facebook activity. Speaking of which, there are some other numbers I really should have thrown in, and I didn't, but during the State of the City. But if you add up the meetings, the meetings that I've had, I average anywhere from 10 to 12 meetings a day. I know that's hard to imagine, but I'm going to ask Dustin to take let's take 11, and let's say that we've had on average 11 meetings a day, and let's spread that over 52 weeks. So Dustin, 11 meetings a day times 5 days. We're not even counting Saturday, Sunday. We have meetings Saturday, Sunday too. Let's just not even count those. Let's say 7. Oh my gosh, that's 2,860 meetings this past year. That's nuts. It really is. I wanted to also throw out another figure. On average, we handle right at 100 text messages a day. Now, I'm not even going to count the weekends. It drops down to about 50, 60 a day on weekends. So 26,000 text messages. This is kind of fun. 26,000 text messages. And then we field, I know Pam, my assistant at City Hall, she's on the phone a lot. And people call wanting to talk to us, and they say it goes to voicemail or it goes to somebody else. That's because Pam's on the phone or I'm on the phone. Dustin, a rough estimate of phone calls, I don't know, about 30 a day maybe. What do you think? At least 30 a day. So let's see how many phone calls we've had. That's 7,800 phone calls in a year. So, man, it's been a year. You know, though, those are all healthy numbers because it shows that people are engaged, people are interested, people are excited. Now, some of those are complaints. You know, hey, you're going to get those. But now I'm not including emails, and I'm not including messages on Facebook. We won't even go there. I think we've done enough math. But the numbers are great for Natchez. You know, the excitement that's in the air, too, about new projects coming. At our State of the City, we did announce the fact that, you know, we've had a number of big project announcements over the past year, going all the way back to last fall, right after we took office. Loss prevention services coming in downtown, a beautiful building, new parking lot, and on their way to a couple hundred new jobs there. We also talked about Southern Designs about to open a new manufacturing operation where Kmart used to be. But we also had a surprise announcement at the end, and that is that the ink is dry on agreement, and all the details will be shared publicly. We think in about 3 weeks. It has to do with a project called the EOLA, and that is real exciting. The reason that we didn't give full detail to the project, we wanted to save something for the official announcement date, and we want various partners there when we make the announcement. And the State of the City speech was only designed to be 10 or 12 minutes long. I think it actually I was trying for 10 minutes. I think it lasted somewhere between 13 and 14 minutes. And we need a lot more than that to really fully describe what we're about to see happen at the EOLA. But that is a project that we've been working on since taking office, even before taking office. And we're so excited to see it coming into fruition. One of the great things about the EOLA project, what's really making this possible, is for the developers to really put together something that would work. They needed to make sure that they had ample parking and also a facility that would allow for other accommodations for guests. We're still hoping for a swimming pool and an exercise center. I'm hoping that's in the works. And so all of that's being made possible because of the generosity of the Fry family, the Davis family. It was a great day last week, a few days before the State of the City, to sit down with Walter Davis on behalf of his family and making a major donation to the city, the Fry Building. And it's a large building on the corner of Pearl Street and Franklin Street. And what will come there is a parking garage, but also street level retail on Pearl and on Franklin. And we are hoping that the developers have some other ideas for the top level, some things that will go along with the EOLA project, and waiting for all that to be finalized. So we're shooting for a date. We'll announce it soon, but later in the month of August, we plan to have a really nice event where we will announce what's going on with EOLA. Speaking of August, we are also looking forward to a groundbreaking in August at the depot, the historic depot on the bluff, which will soon be the newest and best farm to table restaurant on the Mississippi River. And so that'll be happening. And then August is a great month for another couple announcements that will be coming. We'll have another major announcement for more jobs coming to downtown Natchez. That will be announced in a couple weeks. And then we very well may have a groundbreaking sometime in August, maybe September, on a new large facility and another large project here in Natchez. So stay tuned for that. During the State of the City speech, though, we talked about unity. And I really want to emphasize that we're working so hard to reach more and more greater planes of unity as we move along, as we work together. We move forward together, and it truly is getting better and better. If you'll recall, when we were in the midst of the pandemic, and shortly after I had taken office, we did something rather difficult. We disbanded the city task force, COVID task force, and decided to join with the county so that Natchez Adams could be on one page, working together. And that one move, I think, in bringing about more unity in our city and in our county. And we are excited now that we are working so closely with Adams County and seeing the unity grow. We also are seeing more and more in terms of telling the full story here, the whole story. It's not enough just to talk about the mansions, while they're beautiful, talk about those who built the mansions. We've got to talk more about our African American history here. That's why Forks of the Road is so important. That's why the monument to the U.S. colored troops is so important. That's why assisting NAPAC, our African American Museum on Main Street, is so important. And I'm looking forward in the new budget, we're going to budget for a new paint job there. That building hasn't had much shown to hit in over 20 years. And it's time that we get that building shining for NAPAC as it should. That is a city-owned building, the old post office building on Main Street back in the day. We also are excited about a project. We'll be meeting here in the conference room with Bobby Dennis and others who are from NAPAC, and we'll be working with them on the next step in creating a great map of historic sites around the city, African American historic sites, civil rights historic sites, where we will be telling the story with signage. So many important buildings and locations in our city. So unity was a big message in our state of the city, and that is going to continue being something we work very hard on. Speaking of unity, we have an opportunity to show great unity this weekend. Saturday will mark another opportunity to come together on Minor Street for the Minor Jubilee. This is a festival that goes back a long time, and it was started through the Bridgewater family and a group of volunteers spearheaded by our own Alderwoman Felicia Bridgewater Irving. We'll be putting on a great event, and we're going to be there celebrating that event Saturday. This is also a time too, they will be giving out hand sanitizer, face masks, other things that are needed in the community, and also they will have a vaccination site on site. Speaking of vaccination, we've talked enough about all this. I want to now go to something that is extremely current and extremely important. The city, the county, and also Magnolia Health are teaming to get on a vaccination campaign. And the purpose of this campaign is to raise awareness on how important it is to get people in Natchez, Adams County vaccinated. We actually had a vaccination tent set up at the State of the City event last Friday, and we are going to see more of that in our community. Because if we're going to ever get victory over this COVID and now the Delta variant, statistics are out there. One of those that's the most impressive to me is that those people who get the vaccine are less likely by a huge percentage of catching this Delta variant. The Delta variant is deadly. It is more contagious than the first original COVID-19 virus. It also can have far more serious consequences for those with underlying health issues. Well, the statistic is out there that above 88% of those who have had the vaccine continue to carry total immunity to the Delta variant. Now, those who do succumb to it, that would be that less than 12% of those who have been vaccinated. If they do succumb to the Delta variant, this is their chance of being hospitalized. 1 in 127,000. And so what that means is if you've had your vaccine and you should get the Delta variant, chances are it will be very mild. And in fact, you won't even have to quarantine all that long. The sad part of this is we are now hearing more and more of people in our community and all across our state who have not been vaccinated and who are getting the Delta variant and who are ending up very, very sick. In fact, we have had some who, in their last words of life to their family, expressed regret that they did not get the vaccine and pleas of urgency to their surviving family members to please go and get that vaccine. We have literally heard of people barely able to get the words out on their dying bed that they wanted their loved one to get protected because they wish that they had. Well, we have a chance. And in this country, we are so blessed to have Moderna and also Pfizer, two very proven vaccines. A lot of research has been done, shown to have very few side effects. There are instances, of course, everyone's different. That's why I don't support an overall vaccine mandate. Every person's different. Our health conditions are different, and how we're wired genetically. But this is the thing. In this country, I'm going to say it again. Your chances of having to go to the hospital with Delta variant, 1 in 127,000. Those are pretty good odds. And so I'm glad I've gotten both shots. I've gotten the vaccine, and I encourage everyone to get that vaccine. We had a meeting today, our COVID task force, chaired by our emergency management director, Robert Bradford. And Mr. Bradford had the city there, county there, had people from the school. He had people from the community, from the hospital, and from the sheriff's office, law enforcement, but even had the press there. We were so glad to see the Natchez Democrat there. And I made a comment there that I'll make now. It's very important that we keep these meetings transparent and that we keep this process transparent, because the reason people aren't getting the vaccine is because they're skeptical and because they don't have trust. They lack faith. And if we're doing having meetings behind closed doors about this, then that just adds to the lack of trust. So it's important that everything be in the open. And then as we get busy on this vaccination campaign, we're going to build more education into it, and it's all going to be out in the open. We're going to be working on a video. Our own Dustin Hinkle is going to be putting together a nice video that will include testimonials. We're also going to be running ads in the local papers, on the radio, and we're going to be getting signs out into our businesses. Now, I want to tell you something. We are encouraging everyone to get the vaccine. And if you have not gotten the vaccine, for your own safety and the safety of others, we encourage you to wear the mask. But I want to say this. I said this very early in the meeting today, and I think there was agreement all around the table that we do not support a return to the mask mandate. I think it was evident when we had the mandate that only a certain percentage of our citizenry, complied with that mandate. And that happens to be the same citizenry that complied with, hey, going and getting their vaccines, and they've gotten their vaccine shots. And so why have a mandate you can't enforce? Obviously, those who didn't wear the mask before aren't going to wear it now, and they're the very ones we're trying to plead with to get your vaccine for your own health and your own safety and that of your loved ones and family members. But no, we are not going to support returning to any mask mandate. We also are not going to support any idea of compulsory vaccination laws. We think that violates the freedoms that we all enjoy as Americans, and I don't support that. But what we do support is encouraging people to get educated, to do the right thing, and because we want to make sure we keep our healthy economy going. One thing that we have to all realize is that a healthy economy is what keeps us going. That's what keeps the sales tax coming in. And that's also what keeps people moving in, opening businesses here, and also tourists coming in. And if we were to become a hotspot and it was evident that we were having rampant the Delta variant of the coronavirus spreading throughout our community, that would have a very negative impact on our economy, on our tourism. And so for that reason alone, let's encourage people to get vaccinated and do the simple thing to stand up to this and be able to move past it. And we're going to just keep that going. I applaud the unity in our community on this issue, and we're going to keep that unity. Our city, our county, emergency management, and all of the agencies and partners, even including the Chamber of Commerce and Natchez Inc. We are going to be on one team, one page, and that's the way it's been, and that's the way it will continue to be. I want to give another report. We have a special called board meeting tomorrow, and that board meeting we will do several things. We have an important presentation on the Brownfield grant project. Mr. Trey Hess will be there, and we will be signing documents and moving to the next stage in the assessment and reporting that has to be done on various potentially hazardous sites in our area, including the Titan Tire Plant and including the MLK Triangle, where there are some underground storage tanks that need to be cleaned up. We're excited about this. It's a step forward. City of Natchez got that $500,000 grant along with FAR Natchez and Friends of the Riverfront and others who have been supporting this, and now we are moving forward. Another thing that we're going to discuss at our meeting tomorrow is the assault of this very dangerous disease. It's called bark scale, and it is attacking crepe myrtles. And we have evidence of that in our community. And I told a group of citizens, master gardeners, and others here in this conference room today that it will not be under my watch that we lose the crepe myrtles here in Natchez. And so tomorrow we will embark upon, and that is kind of a play on words, a very ambitious treatment plan to rid our community of the bark scale fungus that and virus that is attacking our crepe myrtle trees. How about that? We've got to treat the trees. It has been done in the past, but I think if anyone watches the news, this is now plaguing other communities, and we want to make sure in Natchez that we get ahead of it. We have other things on our agenda tomorrow, but one of the most important things will be interviews tomorrow afternoon for a full-time Parks and Recreation Director for the city of Natchez. It has been since the year 2008 that the city of Natchez has had a full-time Parks and Recreation Director. And I know that's hard to believe, but over the years, there have been budget problems and challenges, but we are very blessed because our economy is doing well and our city is doing very well financially. And yes, our sales tax collections are up substantially, that we are now able to, and we will do this tomorrow. We will go to the next step of opening bids and getting ready for our recreational bond, a $2 million bond. And we're about to do major projects at all 6 of our city parks. But we've got to have a full-time Parks and Rec director to make sure that all of that gets done, and also to make sure we have a staff in place that can maintain these parks. The parks have gone a number of years neglected and overlooked, and so we're about to change that. And so my goal is we'll have successful interviews, and perhaps by the end of the meeting tomorrow, should the board members decide to do so, we can hire a new director of Parks and Recreation. I say full-time Parks and Recreation director. Now, we do have a part-time director, and she is actually one of the finalists. She's in the mix, along with another individual who has applied, who is has a lot of Parks and Recreation experience in Baton Rouge. And we have another candidate who has applied, who has a lot of Parks and Recreation experience right up the road in Port Gibson, Claiborne County. And so we're going to have some good interviews, and we'll see how that goes. Now, I want to say this. Another important thing that has taken place this week. I'm a little worn out. Right after the State of the City speech last Friday, we had a big event Friday night at Rolling River Reloaded. YZ Ely performed, and we had a fantastic big party. It was a throwdown party. City did not pay for it. Yours truly, my campaign fund paid for this because I wanted to throw an appreciation celebration. And it was really great. Great food, great entertainment, great fun and fellowship. And then Saturday was busy with events. And then Sunday, got up and headed to the coast because I had to be there by noon for the board of directors meeting for the Mississippi Municipal League. I'm very honored to be on the board of directors for the state Mississippi Municipal League, which comprises all of the officials from all of the cities here in Mississippi. And so we got together down there on the coast, and this was the 90th summer convention. And it was a really great experience. There were, I am told, somewhere about 4,000 people on the coast, all these officials from all over the place there. And it has improved greatly from my last experience with this. I was on the MML board of directors over 20 years ago when I was mayor of Crystal Springs. And it had been over 20 years since I had attended the summer conference. And let me tell you, back in that day, you get everybody there at the Coliseum. They'd all show up for the opening meeting. They'd sing a song. We'd have a salute to the flag, and then everybody would vamoose, go to the casinos or wherever they were going. It was a junket. And then just a few people would hang around for the rest of the 3 days to actually learn something. Well, it's a far cry from that now. There were so many breakout sessions. It was hard to choose which one to go to. And it was everything from municipal law to municipal finance to ethics to economic development to infrastructure to recreation to public works. And the list went on and on and on. And everywhere you look, it was just people everywhere, all over that Biloxi Convention Center. And so it's great to see that in Mississippi, we have so many great public officials, both at the state level who were there visiting with us and at the municipal level. It was also exciting to see some old friends. It's hard to believe, but there are a number of mayors in the organization who were mayors when I was mayor of Crystal Springs over 20 years ago. And I'm surprised some of them look the same, even though I know they're about 25 years older. But then again, I'm 25 years older too. But actually 26. I was 30 back then in those days. And I want to say it was great to see 100% participation of our Board of Aldermen here in Natchez. We were all there together, along with our city clerk and deputy clerk. And we were all there learning together. It was good to see everyone going to the meetings, being a part of the events, even the social events. And we got to spend a lot of great time as a city together, building in our unity. Because it's important to remember, as I said at the State of the City last week, I'm just one person. I haven't done all this alone. It takes a community, and it takes a great Board of Aldermen. And I'm very grateful for the Board of Aldermen that we have. Wow, we talked about the State of the City, statistics, looking forward, great announcements to come. And yet, even all of this, there are a number of things we have not hit on. I'm now going to look through the comments and replies. Got to put on the glasses and everything. And oh gosh, I can see now. So we've got a couple. David Odom. David and I went to elementary school. 70 and 600. Boom. I mean, in a pandemic year, 600 new jobs. It is a big deal. Tracy, Pastor Green, golly. It was great to see Pastor Green there. David Green is one of my favorite guys, and he was there to pray for us, and he's encouraging us there. Gosh, there's so many here on the city page, and I see here that we have just a number of comments. I tell you what, Dustin, why don't you just help me? Why don't you help me with some of these? I don't know if you can from where you are. Oh, your laptop's right here. I'm trying to scroll down.
Yeah, 2 fingers.
So
Get over. You hover over that and scroll down.
yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, there are a lot of comments on there. And so yeah, good. Good evening to everyone. Oh, Katie, is there going to be a test? We will see. We will see. And we do. And Alma, I'm sorry you've got concerns. We do get your emails. We do, but I'm going to have to refer you to our city attorney if that's all right. I know y'all have been visiting because I think some of yours involve a matter that I can't discuss on Facebook. I'm sorry it is that way, but Mr. Calloway is our city attorney and be happy to talk to you. The Eola, yeah, really good. The parking garage, and I want to tell you what, we're not just tooting our horn here. We're tooting Natchez horn. A lot of positive things, so many positive things. And I want to say this too. It is a joint group effort, is a community effort. And we're just so grateful for the community that we have. I see a couple things. Yeah, Ralph Tedder, Alma Carpenter, you're right. And I've heard great things about him. Wonderful man. And we look forward to having another full-time Parks and Rec director. It's about time. Thank you for all the kind comments. I'll say this to Avery Deshawn Green, talking about Morgantown Road. Let me tell you about Morgantown Road. We've got some great, and Chris Bourgeois, happy to have bought a second home in Natchez. Oh, that's great. We're glad you did. I want to talk about Morgantown Road a minute. We had a meeting on this while we were on the coast, actually, and it was good to see some of our transportation commissioners on the coast and got to visit with them, and also Manny McPhillips, who is our lobbyist. This is the good news. $2.4 million is in the federal bill now that has been introduced in Congress by our Congressman Michael Guest. It's also in the Senate side, an appropriations put there by Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. And so because of that, and having cleared all the hurdles that we have cleared, we are very hopeful that we may get that $2.4 million appropriated for Morgantown Road, and we'll know by, we think, the end of September. Well, in addition to that, we met with MDOT just a couple of weeks ago, and MDOT, Mississippi Department of Transportation, the new director, Brad White, been very kind to meet with us, and Brad has said that they're going to do all they can in the interim while we are waiting on this money to improve safety. And so very soon we're having a meeting, in fact, with their district engineer Tuesday to discuss striping, signage, and reflectors. And there are some stopgap short-term solutions coming. The long-term solution, though, if we can get that $2.4 million out of Washington, then that means we're just $1 million away, just $1 million, but we are getting some reassurances from MDOT that may be a very possible task should we get the federal money. The reason we pursued that strategy is we just know MDOT funding is limited. And so rather than go to MDOT looking for all the money, which we did up front at the beginning last fall, went to them, but this seemed to be a better strategy. So say a prayer, hope that all this happens. We said when we became your mayor, we wanted to make sure that we got Morgantown repaired. Also, while we're talking about Morgantown Road, let's talk about something else that involves MDOT, and that is lights on the bridge. About a year ago, we were very hopeful that MDOT was about to get some funds headed our way to relight the bridge. Well, our hopes were dashed because of one thing after another. There was a number of things, change in leadership at MDOT, the coronavirus, as we all were struggling last fall, limited funds. But in the meantime, we've been working the city of Natchez with the city of Vidalia. We've been working with the Lieutenant Governor of Louisiana and talking also, he's over tourism in Louisiana, and also talking to our own public officials, including our officials at MDOT. And we had a meeting with MDOT a couple weeks ago, the same time we met with them about Morgantown Road. And we talked about the lights on the bridge. We have now come up with a design that includes color. It includes a beautiful LED glow. It would be soft white mostly, but we could every evening, just after sunset, have what I call our Bellagio experience, where we have music playing on speakers on the bluff that is synced with movement of lights on the bridges. And you could actually sync this to your cell phone to listen to it. And so for about 15 minutes every night after sunset, we could have our own Bellagio experience. I'm referring to the exciting fountain light display that goes on in Vegas outside the Bellagio Hotel there every night. Well, this would be a wonderful light show that would happen at our bridges every night. So the price tag for all of this is somewhere between 8-9 million. That's a lot. But so we're looking to the state of Louisiana to help, and they have said they would, Mississippi to help, and we're trying to get their assurances. But then we're looking now to the federal government to see if the federal government could help. If that would come through, it slices the pie 3 ways and then 5 ways, because the city of Natchez would take on responsibility for maintenance and upkeep, and the city of Vidalia responsibility for the utility expense. So I'm just throwing that out to let you know that we have not given up. And just this week, while I was at the Municipal League Conference on the coast, I was able to grab a quick little meeting with members of Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith's staff. Senator Smith is on the Appropriations Committee there in the Senate. And then a ranking member of Appropriations Committee is Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. So if we work that strategy, who knows? So we're working it, and that's where we are there. Hey, let's see if we got any more comments. Anything else anything that we need to answer? Let's see.
The last one.
Any updates on Natchez? Yes, Dr. Janice Davis, thank you. In fact, on in our State of the City address, we talked about 2 major things that we are working on now for this next year in office. That just has taken a while to get it all together, although we have been working on some of this behind the scenes. One of those is Natchez, Medical Economic Development. We've been waiting on the results of a medical market analysis, and we understand that analysis is almost complete. That analysis will give us a roadmap. The same firm has been doing this that also, there was a firm hired, the Horn Group. They were hired by Governor Haley Barbour. They were also hired by officials in Louisiana and in other areas after Katrina to do an analysis and build a plan for the market recovery, the economic recovery after Hurricane Katrina. Well, that same group building our plan for medical economic development. And the goal is to create a medical healthcare hub right here in Natchez. And so that healthcare hub would draw from all of our region and give people a reason to come here rather than having to go to Baton Rouge or Jackson or Alexandria. So we're very close to having that completed by the Horn Group. But in addition to that, we have been talking with so many partners in our area, and we are soon going to put together the task force that we've been talking about for a year now, that we'll start marketing this. We already are working with uh, plans and ideas for various vacant properties that are in the vicinity of Merit Health. And we think that that's the perfect area to build a medical community. And in fact, as recently as last week, we had potential developers in Natchez. One of the meetings took place Friday, the very day of our State of the City, looking at vacant properties near Merritt for some great opportunities that may be announced soon. We also have been showing developers the Tracetown property. We think that could become a great multi-use area. If you've ever seen the township, it's a beautiful area in Ridgeland, which is a combination of residential and retail office space. They also have medical there. We see our Tracetown as what could eventually be our township, and it could have a mix of residential, retail, office space, and medical. So we're working through those ideas. Janice, I wish you were here to actually be an active member of that task force, but maybe you can be as we get the task force together. We would love to have your involvement on that task force. And we also are working with Dr. Ben Yarborough here locally, hoping that he can chair that task force. One important part of that task force is physician recruitment. And this is a part of the medical plan that we're waiting on. And so that's in the works. Another thing we've been waiting on is a change in leadership to take place at Merit Health. And we have a new CEO about to take the reins. We'll be meeting with him next week. And that will start a new forward process with Merit, because obviously they are a partner. We are going to be encouraging Merit to enter other partnerships, however. We would love to see partners come in to provide various services here at Merit Health, services in our community that currently are not offered. We know that if Natchez is really going to go to the next level, we've really got to have this healthcare hub, medical economic development strategy here in our area. So that's where we are. Another area where we've been working, it was also part of our Natchez Renewal campaign, is workforce development. And everyone may know, it was on Facebook a couple months ago, we made a trip to Batesville, took a large group. Well, what people don't know is we've been having behind the scenes meetings since then with various partners, trying to get them engaged. And we're very close now, I think, to having a really strong partnership with the city, the county, the schools, and also our other local partners, to include Alcorn, Colin, and also Natchez Inc. and our chamber. Our business community has to be involved in this, because one of the real holdbacks for economic growth in small towns is workforce availability. And if employers can't hire a trained workforce, they're not going to come. So this is a major strategy. Another thing too, recreational renewal. We did mention this at our State of the City. Now that we're doing this $2 million bond, our goal is to get these parks renewed and refreshed, new equipment, new and improved youth center at the North Natchez, new and improved golf clubhouse at Duncan Park. Don't let me confuse people. We're restoring those facilities. The historic facilities will remain, but they're going to be restored. But we also need new tennis courts. We need better lights. We need improvements made to our ball fields, and also new playground equipment at both at all the parks, and big new playground equipment, Duncan Park, North Natchez Park. So the real goal going to this next year is going to be developing these parks, continuing on with our recreational renewal. Another thing, Safe City. We talked about it during our State of the City. You know, we're so excited. Our police chief, our policemen and women, they're doing such a great job solving crime. And in fact, solved another old crime just this week. 2 weeks ago, we actually arrested two individuals related to an old cold case from 2018, the Don Owens murder case. So we're making a lot of progress, but there's more progress to be made. So watch for more meetings of our Safe City Task Force, and we're excited. Crime Stoppers is back in gear. And we also are very excited about the new equipment, the new police cars, our new fleet. If you haven't seen them, wow, be on the lookout. They're beautiful, and so we are absolutely determined to make even more progress in fighting crime. Well, I think we're about to be out of time. We got any other burning issues out there? And let's see, and again, Ms. Carpenter, I'll refer you to our city attorney on legal issues. But we do appreciate you and appreciate your watching and being a part here. We obviously also, as a city, we are striving every day to do the best we can. It's not always easy, but I do want to just end with this. We, as I said, had a great meeting of our COVID task force today, and we do celebrate all the good things taking place, happening in our community. We also today had the opportunity to go and meet with some young children in a mentoring program on Claiborne Street, North Natchez. And it's part of the D&J mentoring organization. And that is a couple wonderful people who are doing this. Diane, and also her husband, Joe, there in North Natchez, who have put together D&J. And we were taking a picture, and the kids were saying cheese. And I said, no, say Natchez, because you can't help but smile when you say Natchez. And so Natchez, we have a lot to smile about. Lord's really blessed our community, continuing to bless us. No, we're not perfect. And no, we just today met with some master gardeners talking about the need to improve our interchanges, to get more help keeping our grass cut, getting our welcome signs looking better. But this is the thing, the cup's not half empty, it's half full or overflowing. And if your cup is empty, I want you to look at that as an opportunity. It just means, hey, you're ready for a refill. And Natchez, that refill is coming. It is. So get ready. More things on the way. Some great announcements coming during the month of August and even into the fall. And so get ready. Don't forget to buy your tickets to Angels on the Bluff. They go on sale on August 1st, I believe, online. And you can actually find information about that on our website, I believe. There's a link. They usually sell out in one day, 50,000 usually in tickets. It's a major fundraiser for the city cemetery. And so that's coming up. And for those of you who don't know what Angels on the Bluff is, it's a great deal where people dramatically interpret and represent their loved ones at the cemetery at night. And it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. And a lot of people come for that. There are so many other events coming.
And it's on the cemetery page on the city site.
It's on the city site. Go to the cemetery page. Speaking of cemeteries, we gave a $16,000 check last week to Watkins Street Cemetery. About to have some great cleanup going on out there. Another historic cemetery in our community. There's so much history here. We're going to be in the fall before you know it. We'll have fall pilgrimage. We'll have the balloon festival. We'll also have the first ever Bigfoot festival. You're going to hear more and more about that first weekend of November. And also, I'm excited. The Festival of Music is having a major event in November at the community center. Tomorrow, the convocation exercises for the beginning of school for Natchez Adams School District. And so that will take place at the City Auditorium tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So much going on. I won't be able to be there because of our board meeting unless we're able to catch a quick recess. But all that said, I think we're going to sum it up. Is there anything else, Dustin, to be said? I just thank everyone for your kind remarks. Thank you so much. And oh, Miss Jenny, I tell you, I think we're working on getting the audits available on our website, and we are working so hard on those. We're about to finish our third audit. We'll have done 3 audits in 1 calendar year. We came into office 2 years behind, and very quickly 3 years behind. Oh, it's been some work, but we've gotten 2 clean audits done. About to get the third one done. That'll be 3 done in 1 calendar year. Never have we been able to do that, but we have. We are working to get those audits added to the website. We've gone through the law. We talked to see exactly, what has to be shown and everything. All of our records are available at City Hall. You can follow. One of the classes I took was on public records, open records. All you got to do is come up here and file an open records request, Ms. Ransom, and you can look at anything you want to look at. But there are other steps that we can go to voluntarily to make things easier to look at. We've been trying to get all of our minutes online. We're now working on getting our audits online. And we've also been working to get the minutes online from our other city, organizations such as the Planning Commission, Preservation Commission. So it's just a lot of work, very few people to do it. I need to throw out this. I don't even have the number of public hearings attached to this. We had last year, as you know, 250 building permits. That was a record number. And all of that requires, so many of those permits require public hearings. And so, our Planning Commission, Preservation Commission, they've been working so hard. They're all volunteer. All of those commissioners are volunteer. And so we really appreciate the work they've been doing. But I also want to say this. We have to do utility inspections. Every time a property changes ownership or someone moves in, someone moves out, we have to do what is called a utility inspection, Entergy inspection. And last year we hit a record, over 1,000 Entergy inspections. And we have one inspector doing that, Jody Rutter. And so, our small little city crew is working hard every day. And golly, I'm just glad they're hanging around. We're working everybody to death up here. But so many good things to report. Natchez, we love you. May God bless you. May God bless Natchez. And any of you who, ever need to reach out to us, feel free to come and see us. I will tell you that, as I said earlier, we get so many calls, text messages, and the meetings we have every day, and the days go long. If it's a little slow getting a response, I apologize for that. I do my best to call people back and text them back. Not always easy to do, but nevertheless, we're here. May God bless you. Have a great weekend coming up. Thank you for tuning in.